Now this, like bees shunning honey, it says, like bees shunning honey. That's at least what one person says, after North Face refusing to make jackets for a Texas oil and gas company, reportedly because it didn't want to be associated with the fossil fuel business. But there's just one problem. Listen to this.
60% of all clothing fibers are made out of oil and gas. For North Face, it is likely 90% or more. So North Face is not only an extraordinary customer of the oil and gas industry, they are also a partner with the oil and gas industry.
There you go. Great stuff. That was a campaign to highlight the ridiculous hypocrisy of North Face not wanting to make jackets or provide jackets to an oil and gas company in Texas. Who better to get into this to talk about how woke the world has become, and even an American company. Steve Forbes, Forbes Media chairman. You're smiling wryly, Steve. I mean, this is just the latest example of how ridiculous it's become, North Face not wanting to be associated with oil and gas. Do you know how many products come from oil and gas and then petroleum and so on? It's ridiculous.
It is. When you look at nylon, plastics, the rope they sell,
right.
The fabrics they sell, they couldn't survive without oil and natural gas. And so these people have to be called to account in connecting the dots. Where does that company get the energy to manufacture? Probably oil and gas. So they couldn't live without it. Moreover, when they talk about, well, we want alternative energies, let's look at what that means in terms of minerals. If we replaced oil and gas today with the wind and solar, we'd have a 40% increase alone in lithium. That and other mining, such as copper, graphite, not to mention cobalt, which is controlled by China. These things would rip up the Earth's surface, 25-fold increase in mining, if you really wanted to have wind farms everywhere and replace oil and gas. So environmentally, these alternatives are environmentally unsound, unsafe. They use child labor for cobalt in Central Africa and elsewhere. So let's connect the dots with these people and call them on it when they posture like that. Oh, we're virtuous. No, you're not. Look at the consequences of what you're proposing.
I mean, why would a company think it's a good idea to make a statement like that? Just stay out of it. Do what you do best. Make products that people like and buy. I just don't understand how at the very highest levels of these companies, they think taking a stand to appeal to a few woke people is a good idea.
Well, I think it's no-cost grandstanding, cheap grandstanding. And but I think more and more people are going to call them to account on it. How do you make your product? You want to go back to how they made rope 300 years ago? Good luck with that. Or climbing a mountain in wool. Boy, no fun in those old clothes. Wool.
By the way, we did reach out to North Face for a comment. We have not heard back. But before we lose you, Steve Forbes,
they're losing face on this one.
Not North Face, losing face. Very good. Steve, I want to get your take on Facebook suspending former President Trump's account for 2 years. And at some point, they're going to reassess the risk. That means from 2 years from the event at the Capitol to 2023, he's banned from that particular social media platform. What's your reaction to that?
Why are they trying to make him a martyr? And all it does is just put Facebook in the crosshairs politically, and someday they're going to pay a price for it. You know, back in the day, AT&T used to be a legal monopoly in this country decades ago, and they went out of their way to make sure everyone was happy. Every newspaper, every television station, radio station got ads. Service was impeccable. These people, like Facebook, should be going out of their way to make sure all legitimate voices are heard, instead of taking pleasure and shutting people down in the most disgraceful way and giving violent people like the Iranians access to your to social media. They're just asking for it. And I don't understand why they're so obtuse politically. They need the approval of all of the public. And back in the 1800s, the railroads, a lot of them thought they could have a public be damned attitude. That's how you got the first massive federal government regulation, nearly destroyed the industry. Why don't they learn? Common sense, guys.
Do they need to be reined in, Steve? I know you don't like government intervention, but in this case, do they need to be reined in?
Well, it's going to happen. I don't like it, but they're inviting it.
Yeah.
And you have Clarence Thomas, Justice, talking about calling them common carriers. And one thing that I hope that doesn't come back is the so-called fairness doctrine, where even radio would have to put on every voice out there. We wouldn't have never had Rush Limbaugh if we didn't get rid of the fairness doctrine. So these people are just asking for trouble, and I just am surprised they don't realize it's not just today, it's tomorrow they have to worry about as well.
Exactly right. Great stuff as always. Steve Forbes, thanks for joining us today. Much appreciated. Thanks, Steve. Thank you.